Hey everybody, it's Angela and I am back with another layout, and I'm going to use this old basic gray collection pack called B-Side, and I also have a couple pieces to go with it, this chipboard pack and some frames that I got at Tuesday Morning, and I got these a couple years ago, and I've used the collection several times, but I thought I'd just pull it out again because it had some good sentiments, and I like the kind of fresh colors, and it's not too girly, and it was going to coordinate well enough, not great with my photos, but well enough, because the photos I am going to scrapbook are some of my husband and I bucking bales for his sister, and so there's some yellow in there, and there's some orange from the tractor, and so I'm just going through the papers and I'm going to look for things that can pull those colors out. And there's the orange that goes really well with the tractor, so I want to use that. And I like this one that has all the colors of the collection. And then it has this bright yellow, which isn't quite the same color as hay, but it kind of plays on that theme. And I wanted this to be fresh and not too dark. Even though I go with that distressed gray paper as my background, I still wanted the whole layout to be, really fresh and happy. So I'm going to cut some strips of the other paper to layer behind it to kind of make it really pop from that gray piece of paper. So yeah, these three pictures are my husband and I had been at the farm. We'd been working for about 3 days, and we were just getting ready to pack up and head on our 3-hour commute back home to the city, and his sister called and they needed help getting the last load of hay off the field because there was a storm coming and they didn't want the hay to get wet. And I guess it was some of the best hay in the field. And so my husband and I, we looked at each other and it's like, you know what, it's family, we got to go help them. So I helped buck the bales onto a platform on the forks of the tractor that my brother-in-law was driving. And then I could buck them about 3 high, about as high up as I can get them. And then they dumped the load up on the trailer and my husband stacked them on the back of the trailer. So yeah, we did that. My sister-in-law found got a hold of another kid to come help us. So I had a young, like 17-year-old or whatever that was helping me, and I had to keep up with him. So, yeah, so at my age, it was a struggle, but you know what, we were tired, and my husband was injured, and, I have back issues and stuff, but we worked smart. And we got it done, man. We were so proud of ourselves. So I wanted to document that. And so I'm just taking strips of those bright colored papers and layering behind my photos, which I'm going to put in that vertical strip. And I just put a touch of orange in the mat around the photos just to bring out the orange of the tractor. And then I think that this, even though it's a gray background, I think it really makes all those colors pop off the page. So now I'm going to start doing my clusters, and it takes me a while to figure this out. I pull this today off of the chipboard piece, and I'm going to use that as my title. And then I pull off a couple other things, that little yellow thing that says "Oh my," and then the "check this out." And then from the frame pack, I got the "We've got this." And then these 2 smaller sticker sheets came in the collection pack along with a 12 by 12 like alphabet sticker sheet. And so I'm just taking this one frame and backing it with some of the paper just to give another pop of color up there. I think I struggle a little bit because there's a gap between that top cluster and that bottom cluster, and I don't like that space there. So it takes me a while to figure out how to layer everything along that side to get it to work. And then these are some sentiment stickers from a sticker sheet I used on like 2 layouts ago, and I went ahead and cut that 12 by 12 alphabet sheet up and then just kept out the phrase stickers, and I'm going to use a few of those on here. I go through these little, I think they're Echo Park farm paper clips, but none of them, the colors weren't quite right, and it just didn't work, so I put those aside. And I'm pulling out some die cuts, and I go ahead and I die cut quite a few things out, And I do wind up using some of these flowers. I don't wind up using that large flower cluster there, this one. I don't wind up, I cut them, but I don't wind up using it. And I don't wind up using any of the birds either. But I do use some of the tags and some of those individual flowers. So what I'll do is the extra die cuts that I made, I'll just put them in the collection pack and hopefully use them the next time, because I've still got quite a bit of product in that collection pack. Even though I've used it a few times, I'll get several more layouts out of that. So now I'm just going to take all these dies and go and do some cutting, and you can see I've got them kind of stacked over there, just stuff to pull from. And I liked these, but they were a little too delicate and intricate or something, I don't know, or a little too floral for me. And so I'm just going to go with the actual individual flowers here and just do 3 clusters. There'll be one on the upper right, one on the middle left, and one on the bottom right. And then I'll wind up connecting them because of that awkward space between the upper right and bottom right. So that kind of turns into a whole strip of embellishments. I liked the birds, but I actually kind of cut them out going the wrong way. I should have flipped my paper over because I like that yellow, but they're kind of both pointing off the page or flying off the page. And yeah, I could have recut them, but by the time I played around with everything I had, I found that I didn't really need them. So I just couldn't find a good place to put it. So yeah, this was a pretty epic day for us, and we helped him get that in, and then we got in our truck really quick and hit the road, and we made it home by midnight. And my sister-in-law, they got the hay in the barn, and 10 minutes after they got it in, it started raining. So it worked out so perfect that we were able to help them get that hay in. And yeah, my husband and I, we bale straw and stuff at the end of summer. After we harvest wheat, we'll bale up some of the wheat straw and stuff, but we don't usually, we don't have any hay, so it was a little bit different to do some hay. So I'm looking, and I keep wanting to use that card with the lines on it to do my journaling, but then I realize I'm going to have a lot more journaling than what would fit on that. So I'm just going to write my journaling, all down the side of the page. Yeah, I tried that circle, but the circle, I didn't have any other circles on there, so it looked a little awkward. And then again, it wasn't going to give me enough space. So I kind of set that aside. And now I'm trying to figure out how to get rid of that awkward gap between those two embellishment clusters. So I see that card that says really big day. And so I'm just going to go ahead and cut that out. And I like that it's bright white and that it's got the citrusy yellow color. And so it really, again, kind of lightens up my whole layout. And I thought I'd move the cluster farther over, kind of to the right there, and, help break that up a little bit. And then I decide to move that really big day up to where it touches that top cluster, and then add a tag down below. And that's when it really kind of starts coming together for me. But yeah, I had to play around quite a bit more than I normally do. So yeah, I fussed with this. There you can see that kind of gets rid of that awkward gap. And then I put that tag at the bottom, and then it kind of starts coming together for me. So I think about putting a date sticker over the top of Really Big Day, but I thought that might be a little much. So now I'm going to these little sentiment stickers, and I realize I want to use some of those, but I probably should start, kind of gluing down some of these since I don't have anything glued yet. So I just kind of go ahead and pull the embellishments to the side and use my tape runner to get that down. And then there is sticky on the back of those chipboard pieces, but they're pretty old, so I didn't really trust the stickiness of them. So I'm just adding a little Scotch quick dry glue on there. Now those die cuts, those flowers are from hot off the press die cuts, and the tag, I don't know where I got my tag die from, but it's a tag die that has the kind of little dotted line around the edge, like the faux stitching around the edge. So now I'm just adding a little bit of glue behind that, and I put a clip there with some orange epoxy sticker on it, and that's from a Simple Stories collection that I also got at Tuesday Morning. Most of this stuff is all really old, out of my stash, and all pretty much from Tuesday Morning and other discount stores. I haven't really bought any new collections in quite a while. So I like that tag. I'm going to put that down there, bring some of that color over. And I just kind of wanted to tilt it the opposite direction than the way the Really Big Day card was tilted. And then I'm going to layer some of the flowers down below. And now I'm going to go ahead and take some of those sentiments off. And it's like one of them says, "This is what it's all about." Another one is "Our Summer Story." And then I use another strip with just some hearts on it. And my conundrum here was just, do I put the strips straight on the page, or do I tilt them the same way my cards are tilted, and I wind up putting them straight on the page in just 3 spots to kind of, again, designate that there is 3 clusters, even though that right hand side kind of turned into a large strip. So there you can see I did all my wording, and it goes all the way down the page, and it pretty much just, says what I already told you. And then I figure I'll pull out just a few enamel dots to go with it. And I only had a couple orange ones. I'm always out of orange enamel dots. And then I'm looking for that really kind of citrusy yellow, and then I find some gray ones as well. So those are some Chickadee Star epoxy stars, and I put the gray one down there, and I put that yellow one there, but the yellow just wasn't quite right, so I wind up taking that one off later. I put an orange one up on the top of that other flower. And then these are just some random gray enamel dots. And then these are kind of more of almost a greeny color dot, and they seem to go better than that yellow one, so yeah, I just take that back off. And I put 3 or 4 in each spot, just what looked right. And yeah, they're all different sizes, different shapes, but they again kind of designate that there's 3 main clusters there. So the journaling reads, "We had worked all weekend and we're just packing up the truck for our 3-hour commute back to the city. But when your sister called saying they needed help getting the last of the hay in before a rainstorm came, we just had to stay and help. We may have been tired and we may be getting older, but we got it done. Tom ran the tractor while me and another kid bucked the 60-pound bales onto the forks. Then you stacked the 125-plus bales on the trailer. We jumped in our truck and made it home by midnight, but more importantly, we helped family, and it rained just 10 minutes after we were all done." So yeah, so this is the completed layout. And thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any questions or anything or any comments, just leave them down below. And I will be having more farm layouts coming up. I think I'm going to start working a little more on my farm scrapbook. So I have a lot of older photos I need to scrapbook that I've printed out. So I will be working on that here coming up. So again, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Talk to you later. Bye.